So here we are, looking at Milo's feet in a moment, but to be honest, this is just animal paws, dog paws, cat paws. It's a reminder to me how I actually did these, because I'm quite pleased with how they come out, how you can adapt them. So I'd like to use this process in the future. So at the moment I have the front paws which are on, which I still need to add the little claws. So obviously they're not complete, but they're on in their numbers, and I need to add the fifth little toe and the Dewclaw. However, I am in the process of making the back ones, which at the moment that just looks like a little front claw, but that's because I have literally just popped the claws in. I've used the awl to do it. I actually put the 4 toes, which I made on the cocktail stick, and made them look like a tadpole, so that basically you have the little pad underneath, that's the tadpole end, and then put a hole in to which I put the claw through and stuck with glue. So that's actually drying, and once it's dry I'll actually pull the fur to the front and actually squish it all in and make it so that it can go sensibly. Looks like a bear claw at the moment. Right, so what I wanted to do is to remind myself, because I'm about to do the 4th paw, is that basically, here we go, there's my little tadpole. Can we see that? And perhaps if I put it onto there, that's better, isn't it? Little tadpole, which we make using cocktail stick. And when we take it off the cocktail stick, just very lightly felt and tuck the end over to make that little tadpole. Okay, so then put the awl through the end. See the little tadpole still? Little pad underneath. Excellent. I will then take that out, put some glue in the hole, and then add the claw. Wait for it to dry before I then pull it about and make it look more like a toe again. Then I shall place the 4 together, which is what I have done here. Place the 4 together. I put initially some joining fur, shall we call it. It's the Sweet Pea Doll Rice Murano, yes, and I do it lengthwise, which might seem odd because you actually want to join it kind of that way, but for whatever reason it works. I don't know why I did it that way, but it's the way I like it. So I do it that way first, which I guess kind of gives it a joined up in the right way that it's meant to go, and then I wrap it round, which basically means I can bring it together a lot more. Once that's done and I've actually pulled that about a bit more, I will actually squish it so that it actually curls round on itself, and then attach it that way, because that's what I did here on these paws. I did the 4 and then I did it so it attaches round, so when I've actually finished with this I can squish that up a bit. So all this white, it doesn't work really, does it? Perhaps I should just put little Milo on there. Perhaps you see him. Okay, so then I, squidge it like that. Basically put it round and stab it in. I have got the end of the armature coming to about there. I will have to put the claws in afterwards here. I hadn't decided how I was going to do the claws until I got to this point, But in future I will put the claws in like I have this time first, before actually putting it together like that one. Then put it together, then add it. Okay, I just want to once again record the second part of adding the paws. These are the back paws once again, so that I remember what on earth I did. So at the end of the last video, I showed the paws actually out separate. Now what I have actually done is I've added them, and after I added them and I got them into shape, I basically added a little bit of pink and then the pads underneath. What I am going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of wax to those pads just to give it that rubbery kind of feel. I haven't decided whether I'm going to add black or the natural beeswax yet, because the natural beeswax will just dull it a bit. That's my idea, but I'll try that out and let you know how that gets on. After I did that, I then added another little top to the toe. Okay, so you can see the nice little bulb, because if you see in the picture, you definitely get a downward movement and a bulb on top. Can you see it in the other one? Oh yes, let me go here, and in the other one you can see it very much here. You've got the bulb. Let me do this, where you've got the bulb here, and then that bit goes down there, and basically it goes thinner here and nice and large there. So I did that by adding these bits, and then it comes down thinner, and you can see it in that one on the back and there too, just I think just about. There you go. Now, as I say, I am going to add some wax. Now the front ones, I have yet to add the claws. So I think now that I know that on the back ones I actually added this extra bit on top, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the claws into a separate little bobble and then add that on that, so that the claw, because that's actually, in the real dog, it actually, the claw starts down and goes up around, so it's a big boop, hence, so it basically starts there, goes up and round and down, hence why we need to have that going downwards. So on this one I can afford to have a nice little bobble there, and then have the claw going downwards, so that's what I'm going to do. I still need to add the little Dewclaw, actually on the inside, not on the wrong side there. So I need to add the little claw there, and then the little pad at the back. Make sure I get that in the right place. The pad goes at the wrist, and of course the Dewclaw is basically, well, it's our thumb, but it's quite tiny, and it just comes down here on the inside, and then that pad on the back of the wrist. That's it, there. It's basically the back of the wrist there. Oh, missed. Back of the wrist there. Okay. So, little Milo, where are we with those little legs? I do need to get some work done on those back feet. So let me take some of my lovely handcrafted wool from Sweet Pea Dolls, which is a merino, but it felts really, really quickly, which is lovely. And this colour, I use it for white, but it's called rice, which, as you can imagine, means it's not bright white, which most animals aren't, really. Just doing a little trying to remember how I did the front ones. Like, do you know, it's only a day or so ago, and I still can't remember how I did them. Not very impressive. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I'm videoing this, is so that I can actually remember what I did. I'm pretty sure, because I basically redid one that I did before, where I did the 4 individual toes. Didn't like it, so I took it off. So I made the 4 individual toes thinner, and then I added them again. I still got to do the pads and the little Dewclaw, etc. But I want to get, it needs to have a little extra muscle around there when I'm looking at this picture. In fact, have I got the pictures behind? Life jacket, yes I do. Look. I think you can see he has very lovely little legs. Now I think at the moment I need to have it so that he gets that angle round there, and by emphasising that bit, which on this side will come out there, we get that, so then the foot basically starts there, which on little Milo here, I've got this muscle coming around, but I need it to be slightly more angled there, so we get that. So basically the leg almost finishes there, and this is the long foot, because he does have very short little legs. Better on that side, I just need to emphasize that little bit there. Yes, because actually I have quite long feet. This is the position that we're actually doing Milo in, and as you can see, they have really quite long paws, yeah. Hence why, and you can see it on this. Isn't Milo, but it's another model with similarly short legs. And once again, you can see how actually the foot starts from there. But I do think that that picture is a really good one for showing it on my actual model. Also, he has quite a little bandy-legged emphasis, doesn't he? Need to make sure we get that. Okay, lovely. Right, but today I was going to do his little back paws, because he's obviously not standing on them. They will be a bit easier to do, because I can kind of place them wherever I like, because he doesn't have to be balanced on them. I have, you notice he has quite chunky claws as well, which I have done, but I'm not sure whether I'll use these ones. But I'm not ever added claws. I've done them and I've never been happy with how they've looked, so I've not. Don't know that you can actually see that. Can you see the little claw? So, and I will have to actually paint them or colour them a bit more pinky, but I think they're about the right size. But yeah. Yep. Okay. So we've done our wrapping of wool around a cocktail stick, and I'm just doing a little bit of stabbing, not much, but I'm just tucking in one end to sort of give where the pad will go. They are definitely longer on the back, so giving myself lots of room for manoeuvre. Okay, so the little pad would go there, and if we get the claw on, it would go in there, wouldn't it? Yes, what did I make the claws out of? I made the claws out of Medina, Japanese clay, which I also got from Sweet Pea Dolls. I like it because you still have a bit of flexibility. I don't know, you probably can't see this because it's too small, but I can still bend that. Has a organic feel to it rather than solid clay. Now then, where's my... that'll be better. That'll be better for creating a proper hole in that. Getting that little fella in. Good and proper. Doesn't go on in any further than that though, does he? The Tombow. Probably as well to leave that. The thing is, I can felt it a bit smaller afterwards. Well, this is the first, isn't it? But it's as well that I record it so that I know how to do it myself next time. As soon as I seem to forget the second I've actually done something. It's quite useful. Okay. I have no idea what measurement of wool I'm putting on here, which is of no use to anybody really. That's definitely thinner than the last one. Bend it over again. I'll tell you what, I'll make a few and then I can choose, can't I? I've got to do, well, I think I've got to do 8 long ones and 2 shorter ones for the back foot. I'm using 40 twisted. Helps if I don't stab myself. Okay. Certainly does. bend it over again. It's not there. I know, still got to finish that nose and mouth area off properly, haven't we? Okay, yeah. Waxing the nose, that's always a good one. Let's see if we can get that on film. Seems to have been nicely glued in there. They like to go up, don't they? So that's for the little black pad. Looks like these toes, wherever I look, they have that kind of up along. So I think that's the little nail. Put the little black pad. See how that's a little, oh, that's a little toe. So this is the bit that when it came off the cocktail stick, I lifted it round so that I got a little bobble, and then made a hole and put the nail in. And I've still got that little bit that I can put some black fluff on to make the pad. And then, following what I learnt on somebody else's tip, was to then put a little bit of wax on there, because that just gives it that little paddy feel, doesn't it? Not paddy field as in rice, but pad on the bottom of the foot. Yeah. Yours. That's quite small, so that I'll have a look at a diagram in a minute, see where we're going to put that. I miss you, Milo. My little friend. Sure. So I'm basically stabbing straight down the middle, turning over the end to get, well, it looks a bit like a tadpole, to be honest. Little bobble. Just gently. The thing is, because I'm using a 40, it's only lightly felting it, so if I need to make this thinner later, I can just use one of the 38s and get it under control. That's the plan anyway. Best laid plans and all that. Obviously, because we've got to put that nail in. That'll be interesting. And it fella. That'll be interesting. I still need to give you a little bit of side belly. That little muscular chap. That's the thing, you're constantly looking back at the pictures and readjusting. Something which looked perfect yesterday may not look perfect today because you're seeing it with new eyes, which is, in my world, I like the fact that I sculpt over a period of time, because if I did it all in one fell swoop, I would end up looking back at it and not being happy. I do love to have a little twiddle and readjust. There comes a point when you have to just go, and I'm done. But you need to be happy. You need to be happy with it. I suppose because I've done 5, I'm going to do another 5.